got me playing with the tablet trying to get it adjusted. Oh, me, oh my. Well, there's somebody showed up. Howdy. What up, Trucker Bob? Caught you flat-footed, didn't I? Dadgum, there's 4 of them piled in right quick. I figured I'd sit here and have, wait a minute. Oh, I just sitting around the Dallas area. David, what's going on? I just kind of snuck in on y'all. I was seeing who was paying attention. I done scared somebody off. What's up, Joseph? Oh. Well, dadgum, where's everybody at? What y'all doing? I'm pretending to be a truck driver. I got the act down almost pat. If I get any better, they might start paying me. What up, Joe Thomas? Jim Dunn, you didn't even call me back this morning, dude. What, because your wife was flirting with me, you got upset? What up, Randy? You're pretending to be on vacation. I thought you was going to come to Texas on vacation, get out of Arizona. Knoxville, Tennessee. Every time I talk to you, you're in Knoxville. What's up, Paul? Kurt? And no, that ain't Paul Kurt. That's what's up, Paul, what's up, Kurt. Don't be Grant. There's another one pretending to be on vacation. Shit. I sold my vacation back to him this year, so I don't get one. Actually, it was when I was on that mad and fixing to take that other job, I sold it back so I didn't lose it. I'm wishing now I hadn't. I'd rather take vacation. It is what it is. Hold the wheel at 7 and 4, do small movements, right? You do small movements in this truck, you're going to run over somebody. And then I'm in the Dallas area. You got to get the hell out of the way. Oh. Grant ought to come see me. What's up, highway runner? What in the world do I see in that? Okay, it's just... I'm looking in this and seeing something moving out the window. Now I have 4 drops over here. I stood a damn good chance of getting over here today and dropping all 4. But it's kind of hard. I would have ended up in Fort Worth. Kind of hard finding parking spots in Fort Worth. And my load back don't load till tomorrow. So I stopped halfway across, took some time off. You know, back in the day when I first started, I don't remember who it was. Somebody was calling me the chick magnet. And then Jim Dunn, he got a dose of that. Oh. Been running Detroit to Orlando. I tell you, sliding that fifth wheel don't help a whole hell of a lot. A couple 100 pounds. But sometimes that's all you need, right? Well, if y'all will quit telling people the secret won't be out, it'll be our secret. Of course, you know, OTC, what's going on? So if your wife has discovered my channel, what does she think? Or should I even ask? That's dangerous right there. Besides, she thinks I'm a good-looking rascal, of course. I hear you, brother. That's all that counts. Get past Scale House. So anyhow, I stopped halfway across today and took about a 4-hour break. And eased on in here on the tail of rush hour traffic because I knew my first drop I could spend the night here. So that's where I is. At my first drop, 12 plus hours early. Timothy, my brother, what's going on with the flooding, man? Is everybody flooding over there? You got a plumbing issue. What's going on? Well, you know, once she hits the like button. Rain. Well, you know, we had our not just Texas either. So, prayers are with you, brother. But y'all like the water over there, right? Texarkana, going to Laredo. Good grief. Is it that much rain? How much have you got? James, howdy. We was getting damn near an inch an hour. Well, the rule is, Joe, if you would go and watch some of my videos, I've got one on sliding tandems. The rule is the more you stretch out a truck, the smoother the ride is. That's why you see some of them big purdy trucks with extended rails, extended frames on them. That's called a rail. And the more you stretch them out, the more comfortable it is. And if you'll put your mud flap bracket just barely underneath where your load ends, that'll take a lot of that bounce out of it, and you should be legal. Oh, hell yeah. Damn near all company trucks are governed. Mine only runs like 71. Why in the world are you doing that? Unless you're extraordinarily heavy, you should be taking off in like third gear. So you shouldn't be doing second to fourth. Alright, now it depends upon your truck and how wore out it is and stuff. I can see you have to take off in second. But unless it was extraordinarily heavy, I always tried to do third. 3, 5, 7, and 8, 9, and on up to where you got to go. You really shouldn't skip gears on the top side of your transmission, though. That's just old school rules. And yeah, there'll be somebody to argue with it. What kind of transmission you got? 10, 13, 18, 15? Got me 2 water-sucking vacuums. I hear you. TMB, long-time viewer. First-time chatter, and you don't even chat. Oh, an automatic? Hell, I like my automatic. Only 8,000 going down? Yeah, I would slide it back. Alex, how's it going, man? I'm in Dallas. 10 speed eating it. Oh, goodness. Excuse me. Well, as long as you know what you're doing, brother, go for it. Just remember, skipping gears, especially rolling off a hill, can put you in a hell of a situation. And I've got another net in here, so if y'all see me swatting at stuff, I'm not having fits. I'm trying to get rid of a damn net. Delaware, where the hell's that at? I ain't never even heard of no such thing. Now Houston, I know where that's at. I was in Houston yesterday. Early yesterday morning. Yeah, I hear you, Bob. My knees are shot out. I have been offered a job and damn near too good to turn down, but it's going to be a 10-speed. They got to go through Dallas with it. That shit should be illegal. One of them little pretend motorcycles. Even on these side streets, they don't need that on public throughways. Can't help it, just my opinion. Oh hell, I'll never quit trucking. I'll die in a damn truck. My wife hates hearing me say that. 13 speed now and low weights. Well, if you're low weights, dude, try taking off in third. I hear you. Ah. 13 speed, you should be taking off in third anyway. Would somebody come get his net? Never mind. Made a mess on my window though. I had some last week because I'd got some tomatoes, and that's a bad thing about trying to carry fresh fruit and veggies in your truck, is that they don't even have to be bad to get damn gnats. I think they come out of the stores like that, where they've got them in the back room. I ain't gonna. But last week I had tomatoes where I got some of that pre-made tuna in the package. And I had me some maters, and I slice up the maters and have with that tuna, which is a decent, healthy meal. Ain't very damn filling, even if you have two. This week I brought me out some bananas. I usually grab bananas and they're gone in the first day or two, and then I'm buying them out of the truck stops. I do the bananas for the potassium. And yes, I do take a potassium supplement, but I like bananas. So this week I grabbed some bananas out of Walmart, and halfway through the day yesterday I started getting gnats in the truck. And no, they're not old or nothing like that. Usually out of Walmart they're still green. So, any new drivers thinking about coming out? Remember that about your fruits. I have one old driver. He got mad at me. He couldn't handle the truth. Well, they're not really fruit flies, but pretty damn close to it, I guess. Well, what's the difference in a gnat and a fruit fly? They're little bitty suckers that's hard to grab. But he came over here and drove for us. He was out of Florida. And he got bitching going on about, well, Highway, you could be right, brother. I don't know. You know, to me, a gnat's a gnat or a fruit fly, whatever. They're little bitty suckers. Not much bigger than the lead of a pencil. But he was complaining about these fruit flies in his truck, gnats. And I'm like, dude, we have our trucks detailed in between drivers. So you brought them out with you. Oh, I ain't never had them. Well, no, you ain't never ran over the road before. He was one of them that had stayed local. And I said, what kind of fresh fruit you got? That's probably where it came from. Lo and behold, I was right. We're all surprised, right? But he got mad at me. He was a Democrat. He got mad at me. He couldn't handle the truth. No sugar added. I'm not sure. It depends upon your size for one thing. And she does have hats. I contacted her today and she's still working on the website. It's going to be her website and you can go on over there. Excuse me. She's going to select some colors that go good with the stuff. And in my opinion, they're going to be fairly reasonable. Oh well, what, Timothy? The shirts on regular sizes are going to run from, I think she said 17 up to like 22. You're going to be in the lower cost, closer to the 17, probably $20 type deal. My friend, did I miss something? Right? Yeah, it's not going to be a whole lot. Little Joe did a lot of research for me to try to come up. Now, we had came up with one that was going to have relatively the same prices. And after he did some design shirts and stuff, he finds out that we can only put them up for 3 days. And I told him, I said, no, son, ain't neither one of us got time to every 3 days go in and repost this. I want someplace where it can stay up. They can go in, order the stuff. The people that's doing it gets their order, you know, and it's all taken care of, you know. And I want it to stay up. I hope y'all keep coming back for more. Hold on one second. This is somebody that don't normally. Oh, mind that. Come on. I have to call him back in a little bit. Lost track of where I was. On the front, let me see if I can bring any of them up. Let me tell this old boy, I'll call him in a bit. A good friend of mine that needs to talk, I can already tell that. Come on, send it already. Bad word, bad word. That's one thing that's going to have on it, is I'm thinking of a bad word. Okay, now then. Oh, so it's in it several times. I get to hate this stuff. Let's see. It ain't gonna be there. Come on, son. Where'd you put it at? Well, I ain't sure where the dadgum boy put it. There. Let me see if he did it through Facebook. I want to show you the design he did. It's really awesome. But the little rascal sends me so much stuff. Ah, there we go. Now, I don't know if y'all, let me blow it up some. Move it over. Move it down. Let's see if you can see that. Now, no, that ain't me. That's that boy that I lost. I'm trying to look at the reflection and see if I can. Now, what it says on the top there, simple living with Papa Joe. And on the bottom it says, remember, God loves you and so do I. Then it's got the picture of my son that I'd lost, my dead boy, where he was, well, it's the one on the YouTube thing. On the back, which I need to talk to her, because I think that, now that one is going to be one of the iron-on deals, whatever you call that, press-on, whatever. We got one for the back, the closest I could get to looking like a Kenworth, a W9. And on the bumper, it's got a Texas cow bumper on it. And dadgummit, what was it she was putting on there? Oh, Papa Joe's Variety Show on the bumper. And then whatever saying, we have several different sayings that we picked off of here over the last few videos. You know, down the rabbit trail with Papa Joe and Dadgum and different stuff like that. So she's gonna be doing different stuff like that. So, well, howdy, nobody cares. What's up, J-Man? Well, goodbye, nobody cares. That was short and sweet. Dispatch did it to you again. Went to sleep about 1 p.m. and they blew up my phone about 5 a.m. to see where I am. I told them before I went to sleep. Well, that phone should have an off button, young man. I can tell you a story about that, Joe Thompson. You're not Thompson. My brother-in-law is Joe Thompson. You're Joe Thomas. Oh, don't get upset if I call you Thompson. Yeah, I try to keep my channel clean. Thank you very much, and I appreciate everybody helping. I hear you. Actually, when they started talking about all that nonsense, they was talking about if your 10-hour break got interrupted, you're supposed to start it all over. So yeah, of course, that was never came to your lives. And thank you, Paul. Dadgummit. Appreciate it, Joe. He was a good boy. He was a good young man. He was 27 when we lost him. About 5 years ago. Oh, he'd be like 32 now. All right, James Bailey, take it easy, bro. I remember that song, Timothy. What up, Rolling Stone? Dadgum, everybody pick on Stone. Here he is. Out there trying to be a wannabe super trucker. Well, you're liable to be a minute. If you're waiting on maintenance, you're going to learn the meaning of hurry up and wait. Yeah, he been a trucking fool. He been getting 600 plus miles a day and with very little whining, evidently. his trainer has a truckload of paper towels just for him crying. I'm in Dallas, brother. I wouldn't bet on there being, it don't matter if there's people. It's a matter of having motivated people. So, I'm over here on Irving Boulevard. How far are you from Irving? I'm in Dallas. Sitting over here waiting to deliver. Playing trucker games. Snuck in afterwards and camped out here at my first receiver. So, I was just trying to... I hear you. You think so, huh? Actually, back in the day, I did smoke a pipe. But, you know, that shit's illegal out here driving a truck. Bad truck driver. Bad truck driver. I couldn't help it. You opened the door, man. Yeah. Hell, I had some of them pipes that had water in them. Oh, shit. I tried to pipe many a year ago, and I've done the cigars and all that stuff. I just think the pipe would be a bit of a hassle to try loading out here. You know, unless they had one about the size of this steering wheel. You know, get one of them Cheech and Chong pipes. Now, I was talking about that Cheech and Chong rolling paper with a buddy of mine the other night. Was reminiscing old days and some of the old 70s. A lot of times traffic is what you make of it. That's like when I lived down there in Georgia. I hear you. There would be so many drivers down there on the Watermelon 500 just raising a fuss on that CB. And I'd ask them, I say, where'd you pick your load up at? And out west somewhere, you know. I'm like, well, hell, how long did it take you to get here? 2 days and all this. And I was like, in 2 days, you couldn't plan to hit this at a better time? You just had to hit Atlanta at rush hour? You didn't know better than this? Now, whose fault is that? Oh, I'd make them mad. Damn, I'd make them mad. Oh. Yeah, I know, Joe. Right? Oh, no, I smoke all damn day. Freight train. What? Are you a young individual? If you're a youngin', flatbedding ain't all bad. If you're old, out of shape, and overweight, and all that, it ain't good. The issues you're going to have to deal with, yep, they sure did. That's what we was talking about, was that album that had it. All right, I go back. I heard Cheech and Chong on 8-track, okay? So, you know. The problem you're going to have flatbedding in Canada is your winter time. Your tarps are going to freeze up and get stiff. My understanding, since I quit flatbedding, they have some real lightweight ones that might not be so bad, I hear. And climbing around on anything, your trailer or any of the stuff being put on there trying to tarp and or chain can get a little bit bad. You know Canada weather. Think about it. So, yeah, Stone, you've got an agenda. No, I didn't say the rolling paper came out on the 8-track. I said I go back to listening to them on 8 tracks. The rolling paper was on their album, the 33 1/3. Damn you. I'll catch you yet, my little chickadee. I told y'all. No, I'm not having fits. He's vaping, listen. I hear you. Yeah, I never did like the tarps. Right? The one of the last loads I hauled, I did that one where the load came in the truck on me. That was some wood I was hauling. But then a friend of the family was starting a trucking company, and he talked me into coming over and helping him out to get it started. So I told him I'd give him a couple months. I got up in Ohio or somewhere and was picking up a load. Air conditioners, roof mount air conditioners for buildings. And they've got me tarping this stuff, and it's starting to snow, the wind's blowing, and they blew that tarp off there, and oh man, that was before the good Lord came into my life, and it wasn't a clean channel. And I looked around me and everybody gone, including my wife. She had no way got in the truck. She hadn't heard me go off like that in a long time. So, you're from Ohio and you admit it? Huh. No. If you can, chances are stuff's going to break. Do not try to slide your fifth wheel while you're moving. That's about like trying to move your tandems. What up, Dustin? Now I'll tell you a secret about if you're having trouble sliding your fifth wheel. You know, of course you dolly down and leave everything hooked up, but dolly down, put the weight onto your landing gear, and try to slide it. If that don't work, drop your airbags and try to slide it. And if that doesn't work, oh hell, Dustin, if it was any better, it'd have to be 2 of me and the world couldn't stand it. And use bleach. That is correct. You watched my videos, ain't you? Disconnect from it, pull forward, slosh that bleach all over that rail and everything you can where you're wanting it to move. And the reaction between bleach and that old grease, buddy boy, she'll slide. Nah. That don't work, call Papa. That's why it's a private listing. Oh yeah, the bleach works great. The wife was with me, and we was getting ready to go into New York City on that story. I've told you all that story. And I was trying to slide and get as small as I could. And now, it don't have to be no gallon. Just one of them little bitty bottles that you get. It don't take a whole lot. I've tried WD-40. That don't always work, especially when it's already greasy. But I tried everything, including all my sprays and stuff, and I couldn't get it to slide. And the old man came on the CB and said, son, I'll tell you one time, go get you some bleach. Drop your trailer, squirt everything with bleach, it'll slide. And he was gone. He didn't have nothing else to say. I told the wife, I said, shit, he sounded like he knew what he was talking about. I went in that truck stop, bought that overpriced little bitty bottle of that stuff, splashed it all over there and me. I had shirts that had the spots in it. And buddy boy, she slid. I've only had to do it that one time, but it worked. So, it is what it is. What up, Sean? Are you working? Well, actually, Stone, that's what I was saying earlier. It takes an extreme situation for you to have to slide your fifth wheel. Normally, if you've got it where your kingpin is resting between your tandems, just all centered up. Some of them you have to move a little bit more forward or back, but on the average, centered up there, it's usually good. And very rarely do you have to slide one. They move so little weight, they're hardly worth it. So it takes an extreme situation. You better have a lot of weight on them steers to have to move it. So, had to put a little extra on your steer. Well, now, you know, we're used to the 12,000 on your steers. If you would check your tire rating and talk to whoever does your maintenance, nowadays you can put more on your steers. My truck, I think he told me I could go up to like 13.4 because of the rims and all the other nonsense. So if you check with your mechanical people, you might find out that you can go over your 12. Now, I also understand that back in the day, they would let us go about 400 pounds over because of the APU units and all that. But nowadays, with the tire rating and the rims and all that, you can do a little more. Exactly. Set it and forget it. Almost never move it. All right, Stone. Give your trainer our condolences for having to train you. We know he's earning his money right now. Be careful, little buddy. Oh, a Rolling Stone. Well, right now he's a flat stone, ain't he? Ha ha. Well, I hope picture y'all are getting is better than the one coming across on my tablet. That's a terrible picture, all fuzzy and stuff. I think that tablet's going out on me. No. What up, Jason? You out creating trouble or what? Oh, ha 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 ha. I got some milk duds the other day. Well, that ain't saying much. Didn't do any cooking this weekend. And one of my people told me, stay home and cook. Yeah, when I get a chance to get Grandma out of the house, I do. Oh. What do you mean, no? You know, I thought I was going to like you. I can change my mind, young man. So when I get a chance to take Grandma out and get her away from the house, and taking her to that barbecue the other day, it was all good. And I wasn't going to do a bunch of cooking on Mother's Day and all that, and create her a dirty kitchen to have to, nah. And lately it's just been so damn busy. Well, you know, Robert got that other job and he ain't working over there anymore, and that's putting a bit of a pinch on me. It's putting more work on me. Now, I don't know about where y'all are at, but where we're at, it's hard to find anybody that really wants to work, much less work at a decent rate. They all think that they should get paid for experience they don't have, and then not have to work to get it. No. You think or to smoke a pipe. Well, I'd have to get one of them fancy Sherlock Holmes pipes or something, you know. I drive Grandma crazy. That's the most driving I can do. I had a Ford Dually, big old diesel, 1 ton. It turned out to be a piece of junk. I had the V10, which was a pretty good truck, and it was after a time I'd lost my boy and my head wasn't right. I traded it off for a diesel because I was trying to do some hot shotting, which was a mistake because my head wasn't right. Didn't have my head in the business. So I traded it off on a 6.0, and me not being a gearhead, I didn't realize that they would have been having all kinds of trouble with that motor. And yeah, it was a lemon. And I got mad. I had put a lot of money into it and still was having issues. I just parked it and said, come get it. And they're like, well, we don't want it. Well, I don't either. Come get it. Which I'm regretting now because, boy, did that put a hit on my credit and stuff. But I'll never buy another damn Ford. The boy that sold it to me, he knew what was going on, and he knew that my head wasn't into the game and all that. Grant you, it's as much my fault as it is his, because I should have waited and did it when my head was better, did my homework and all that. But I still think that boy took total advantage of me and me not being in the game. Which there are those that are salesmen that will say, well, that's what he's supposed to do. Every advantage. No, it ain't. If you know somebody's grieving from loss of somebody, especially their child, then no, you don't have to take advantage of them and call that a fair deal. I call that being an asshole. Pardon the French. But now we have a little minivan that we drive. My buddy Michael, he has left a little pickup at the house that he had bought. Didn't turn out to be quite what he thought it was going to be, and then he bought him a newer one for doing some hot shotting, and he just left that other Dodge Dually at the house, or a Dodge Crew Cab, it ain't a Dually. And he's like, dude, it's a farm truck, use it. So I do have it. I haven't used it, but it's there for me to use if I want it. So anyhow, well, like I said, I left myself open. I'm a Mopar man. I have been all my life. I like my Mopars. And I wish I'd bought one instead of that first Ford. But I was mad about that because they just did all the bailout and nonsense. And Ford was the only one that didn't take a bailout. So I'm like, all right, then I'll give Ford my business. And I see why they didn't take the bailout. They didn't have to. They got their professional rip-off artist. Oh. Cool. Just be careful. The thing about flatbedding that you have to remember, and maybe Stone will come back later and finish watching this, is that the freight stays in place as long as it wants to. All the straps and chains and all that, that is to hold it in place to keep it from moving. Once it starts moving, ain't no straps and chain going to stop it most of the time. It's going to go. So, you know, it ain't nothing but cosmetics to me. That load that I had come in the truck on me, I had over double, 2 times what I legally was required to have on that load. And once it starts moving, it moves. So Well, that's fine. They must like working on them or something. There you go. Hey, now y'all start talking all that truck stuff and motor stuff and you'll leave me out of the conversation. I know very little about it. My boys would call me up and asking me stuff about cars and whatnot, and they're like, well, you used to work on them when we was kids. Yeah, I did, because I couldn't afford to hire somebody else. So yeah, I did. That don't make me a mechanic. That makes me a part changer. So I could go to work at TA and become a part changer. So the very basics of the basics. And you know, I've rebuilt carburetors and stuff like that, but then have to call a buddy to come over to set the float. I never did understand that setting the float stuff. You know, they're like setting the points. I never did catch that stuff. I just ain't mechanically inclined. So well, your dad gum. Matter of fact, let me go in here. Let's see. I'm thinking of a bad word. I agree with Papa Joe. Papa Joe the chick magnet. It is what it is. Papa Joe for president. Grab a gear driver. No sugar added. It's not good to wake the bear. And there was 2 or 3 others. The Dad Gum and Down the Rabbit Trail with Papa Joe. And something else that I'd told her in the store and then emailed her these or text her these. So, oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm afraid the thing that she brought up right before I walked out, that picture of that truck on the back, I'm afraid that's going to be an iron-on too. But she says that her stuff is top-notch, and I told her, well, I don't want to be putting junk out, and I'm sure you don't either, so. Yeah, buddy, could be one. Dadgummit. Well, she was kind of raising her eyebrows at some of them, and I told her, well, I said, we was talking about it the other night in one of the live streams, and they were trying to come up with stuff that I said. Half of it I didn't even realize I said, much less on a repeated time. So, oh man. Trying to figure out what I'm going to have for dinner back here. Oh, listen to you boys. Yep, you are correct. Oh, I've told more than one of them if I wanted to wrench on a truck, I'd be a mechanic, not a truck driver. Told them same thing about lumping loads. If I wanted to be a lumper, I wouldn't have a CDL. That don't stand for certified damn lumper. So, it are what it are. Trying to figure out what I'm going to have. I got some hot dogs and some chili back there. I'm thinking about some hot dogs and chili for dinner. Yuppies on a scooter. What a deal. And y'all are impressing who? Yeah, we had Walmart on the way home from her brother's. I just went in there and grabbed a package of sausage, which I had last night. Some bologna and salami and a pack of hot dogs, a couple cans of chili. I said, this will work. Now I got a microwave. Actually, I got 3 Burton stoves at the house. Yeah, I sent the one out of here back home. I'm thinking. Now, there are ways to cook in your truck. Oh. Oh, yeah. I've thought of it. Problem with most of the local driving is you're butting too many docks or you're doing too many dropping hooks, and that just ain't me. I don't want to play that. Plus, on top of that, you're in that traffic all day long. And they'd have paid me some big bucks to stay in that traffic all day long. Actually, beans, taters, and cornbread. Used to cook it quite often out here. So, okay. Jack in the Box ain't all bad, I reckon. So, I just get tired of all the prices. Prices are plumb ridiculous. No. Why are you sitting over there? Rubber duck? Right? Well, that depends upon big bucks, crazy good insurance, and employee stock ownership plan. That don't sound all bad. Yeah. Yeah, I'm usually home. I usually get home on Friday after. Of course, it's trucking. Sometimes it's earlier Friday, sometimes it's later, sometimes it's Saturday morning. But since we had that last talk, me and the owner, they've done a lot better. And I mean a lot better. So, now I like the McRib. Well, Dustin, who were you talking about? Well, go on to the About page and shoot me an email. Grant, you're being awful quiet. You trying to hide from Mama? You afraid she gonna see me? I have 366,864 miles on my truck. Now, you ain't one of them professional recruiters, are you, Dustin? Oh. Got one feller that's talking to me about a line haul, Oklahoma City to Houston. They do 3 turns a week. Not all bad. You're a manager? Well, if you're managing truck drivers, I'll feel sorry for you, dude. Nah, once she sees me, she won't. Well, but then again, I am a chick magnet. All you gotta do is a reminder that my wife is happily married. Oh. So what do you manage, Dustin? Are you into the trucking part, or what you doing? And where you out of? Or you want to tell me all that in the email? Hey boy, liable to bombard you, you put too much of, right? Now I have to figure out, all right, not a biggie. Now after I deliver here, I'm at Volvo. I got to deliver to International, and there's a Southwest International. There's one down there, there's one over there, and there's one right there. Oh. No, I ain't gonna lie. No, I didn't make good money hauling flatbeds. That's where I've told several of the young drivers, that's part of Rolling Stone's plan, is he's gonna go flatbed where he's at. Actually, he said he was gonna go reefer next. Evidently, he's changed his mind. He wanted to try each kind of trucking to make up his mind, and where he's at, he can try all of them. And I told him that the good money is in overhaul, oversize. And oversized does not necessarily mean heavy. It just means bigger than legally allowed. If I'd went ahead and got into that, I could have made some decent money. But your regular flatbedding, and they was trying to keep it somewhat regional, and every damn day I was tarping and untarping, loading and unloading. And you'd spend more time doing that, and you'd be so dirty you wanted to go get a shower. You'd be tired from wrestling with the tarps and stuff. Now remember, when I was doing it, we had the heavy tarps. They tell me they've came a long ways on them, and they're a lot lighter now. And some of the places that you had to go, off-roading and whatnot, getting you and, you know, you're all muddy and stuff. Now you're having to climb back up in your truck and get your truck all. It wasn't for me. It wasn't, and I was younger and healthier then. It was not for me. So I just couldn't do her. Now when I got into hauling boats, now I made some damn good money hauling boats. Which the young man up there in Canada, you might want to check into that. Now, I'm not exactly sure how it would work for y'all, but y'all get a lot of boats up there in Canada, and these U.S. companies are having issues with people that can cross the border. I mean, there's some pretty stupid laws that affect you crossing the border. If you're behind on child support, you can't cross the border. Really? What has that got to do with trucking? You know, a bunch of silly stuff. So those of us that could cross over, we made a few pennies more, but it's the miles. Because we was hauling them out of Tennessee. Malibu is a big one up there. Out there, Wizard Lake. I can't think of what, I think that was Malibu out there. But there's 2 or 3 different boat places that haul a ton of boats up there. So if you could get on with one of the Malibu stores up there, and several of them are, one owner owns 2 or 3 of them, you might be able to start hauling some boats up, and that was some sweet money. So, yep, not a problem. Oh, was that about the cab over stuff? We was using Kenworth, but they was the small ones with a small sleeper, and damn it, now I can't think what it's called. It's got the hitch hookup like car haulers have. Down low, there's a name for them. Sometimers got me there. Because a lot of times you would put one boat on the back of your truck. And then, boy, it was right there, I almost said it. Then you've got your trailer that you would put 3 more on. So you're hauling 4 boats. And these are not cheap boats. So, now it is a light load. Our trucks were registered for the under 53,000 or whatever it was. Yeah, exactly, Alex. The thing with boats, hauling boats, is real simple. They're either a total nightmare or they're easy greasy. There does not seem to be a halfway point with a boatload. When I say they're a total nightmare, boats will move on you. You will learn that there are ways that you can move that boat yourself, by yourself. No, not a step deck. It's the way they couple together down there for car lots. But you'll learn how to angle your straps and ratchet a boat to move it. But they're either moving or they'll be wrapped. They'll have that white plastic wrap on them to protect them. Our trucks would run fast. You will also learn not to run fast with a tarp boat or a wrapped boat, because it will tear the wrap. And now you got to get up there, and you'll carry a ladder with you. You got to get up there, and nope, pinto hook is up higher. That's what I call the GI hook. But now you're going to have to get up there and tape all this nonsense up, and they got special tape you got to use. It's easier to go slow. Save going fast for going back to get the boats. Because you have a specialized trailer, you're not going to pick up anything else, chances are. Now, for a little while, they tried having us pick up empty containers and stuff. It wasn't worth the money. So we would just run back empty. We'd deadhead from Canada to Tennessee, which is long deadhead. But now you can gas on it. You can run that 85 mile an hour and just get your butt on back down there, grab another one, turn around and come back. So I imagine with these electronic lugs, it ain't quite as much fun as it was when I did it. But now I was doing it until 3 years ago. So, dry box. After we quit with this video, I'll remember what that's called. So, ain't that how it always works? But yeah, your trailer's going to be just like a parking lot, just different stuff on it. You got that low ground clearance, damn it, hookup on it. Then back there on the back, you've got devices to raise your trailer up and lower it and stuff, just for getting over like this driveway here, because you'll hang up one of them trailers in a heartbeat. So you'll learn to stop right out there in that road, and you'll go back there and hit a switch and air that trailer up so that you can clear that. Then once you get back in here, you'll lower it back down. So What, from Tennessee up there? 1, 2. Well, now we went way out west. We went out there by Calgary and all them areas, Saskatoon and all that. And basically 3 days. The biggest trick to running out there was you're responsible to contact your receiver, the boat dealer out there, because several of them up in that area would have to order a crane. So you have to let them know when you're going to come in, and they'll call and set up an appointment with the crane, and you have to make it. Where drivers ran into problems, and we had a few of them, is they thought they was going to play super trucker and get on up there, and then they would miss their appointment because they wasn't a super trucker. We had 2 drivers that was real bad about that, and that just does nothing but cost people money. So, and the boat dealers up there will get to know you real well. So they knew that if I told them I was going to be there, I was there. There was a couple others that told them if they was going to be there, they're like, we'll order the crane when you get here. It does nothing but cost them money or time, the driver. But they've done it to themselves. Communications, you know I've said that. In trucking, it's all about communication. If you're not communicating, you're messing up, you know. And then if you tell somebody you're going to do it, you need to be able to do it. And if you can't do it, communications, call them up. Yo, dude, cancel that crane. I'm not going to make it tomorrow. You know, but so many, well, I thought if I pushed it hard tonight, blah, blah, blah. And then they'd wind up taking their full 10-hour break or whatever. And communications, boys and girls. That's what makes trucking go round and around. Yeah, I hear you, Alex. The hauling boats, I loved it. I really did. The company, last company I was hauling for, they was going into a deal where, now you already got paid a percentage, all right? And it was good money. You had to pay your own diesel out of it. Not a big deal. You got paid damn good money. That was factored in. The thing is that so many drivers would just idle their truck. Like sitting here right now, you don't hear my truck idling. You hear my APU in the back running. There's no need of me idling this truck. There's some truck drivers that think that we're still back in 1970 and 1980, and that truck should be idling all the time. In this day and age, you can't do it. Other than the truck driver, diesel is the highest expense on a truck. And this is stuff you need to learn to be an owner-operator. You know? So there's no need in me sitting here idling and the company having to pay for it. So their way of getting around of everybody just idling and them having to absorb the loss, it was like, all right, we're going to pay you this. You pay your own diesel bill. So if you want to idle, that's on your dime. It ain't on my dime. My book, that's hard to argue with, you know? So, and that's what got me out of idling. I was one of them guys that idled all the time until I had to start paying the bill. Then I started figuring out how much you can actually save not idling. So, yep. What's up, son? Stone, later on you need to back up. We was talking flatbedding. You need to back up and hear some of the stuff we was talking about. Basically, yes, you are correct. It's right at a gallon an hour for idling. And if you're running an APU unit that's running right, it's basically a gallon for 8 hours. That's a drastic difference. So, now I was telling them a little bit of your plan Now, you was talking about going from this dry box into a reefer. Have you blowed off the reefers? I don't blame you if you do. But you said a flatbed was your next step. Yep, see, there you go. I hear you, son. Well, according to some of the articles I've read lately about them wanting to cut Social Security 23%, I don't know that I can afford to quit at 62. He's another one that hates hearing Daddy say that I'll probably die in a truck. Him nor the wife like hearing that. Right, well, you can get into a reefer with that truck too. Yep. So you're already starting to eyeball them. Now, are these just trucks you've seen going down the road, or are they trucks that are for sale? Good evening there, Venom Sting. Oh, I'm hunky-dory. Actually, they are stone. Call you Zachary? I know a Zachary. He's out of Colorado. You're not the Zachary I used to work with, are you? I'm a firm believer that yes, they are trying to keep us from retiring, simply because they have so many that will not work, that they want all the people that they can get to work. And you know, there's less and less going to work right now. So when people like me are dead and gone, and like half y'all, I don't know who all works on here, but when us workers are gone, who's replacing us? The trucking industry already has an issue. There's a lot of the Intel IT, which is what my son was getting into. There's a lot of places that are having problems getting workers that are qualified. Now that's a double-edged sword for them, because they simply don't want to pay people of my experience. That's one of my issues out here with the trucking industry. Fortunately for me, I can be a little bit picky, but for the years experience that I have in my driving history and my driving record, MVR, all of that stuff is all but immaculate, okay? And I'll be lucky to make pennies more than Stone. You know, give him a year and I'll be lucky to make just a couple pennies from him, more than him. And that ain't right, you know? And it's the same thing with all the big industries. They want to squeeze out us old people so that they can bring in younger, cheaper people, but then they find themselves on a shortage. So, you know, don't get me started. Not that I would talk politics or nothing. You're from Chicago and you admit that, man? Well, now, I tell you what. Yep, just live off the government. You're right, son. Not the government. Live off. Well, yeah, they do love it. Back in the day, it was a big ordeal between the chicken trucks and the bull racks. You are correct. But when I started seeing Volvos and Freightliners for bull racks, everything went downhill from there. Nowadays, there's bull racks that I can pass at 71 mile an hour. Back in the day, we used to cut a trail across Texas, and if you could keep up with a bull rack, they knew all the back roads. They knew where they was going. And boy, you tie on to one of them, you talk about eating up some miles. Nowadays, it's not a matter of whether it's a chicken hauler or a bull rack, and most don't know the difference in chicken haulers anyway in a regular truck. Nowadays, it's just a matter, is it an owner-operator or a company driver? And nowadays, there's a lot of bull rack owner-operator, company drivers. So, yeah, I know, almost unheard of, ain't it? So... I don't think I'm going to have but about, well, let's see, there's 1,600 people on my subscribers, so I might get 1,603 votes if I can get Mama and Little Joe to vote for me. Oh. You are correct. The thing is that we had so many parents, basically of my generation, that coddled their children, and they wanted to be friends. They didn't want to be parents. They wanted to be friends, and they ruined a generation. Now my boy's on here. He can tell you now that one of the things I used to tell them is, I'm going to be the daddy that you make me be. If you let me be cool, I'll be cool. We'll have fun. You make me be strict and be a dad, guess what? I got that covered too. And a lot of them wasn't like that. They was worried their kids would get mad. That's the last damn thing I was worried about, you know. Right? Oh, Lordy. But that is also why that boy and myself have a decent relationship now. We talk, I don't know how many times a day. And some of the others, they have gotten out and figured out that their parents really didn't do them right. You know? Now they're trying to scratch and figure out. That's like the entitlement group. You know, there's so many that think that they deserve something and that they don't have to work and earn it. And now they're out here being little snowflakes and melting. These college kids are the worst. Well, ask Little Joe. Little Joe, they just asked, did I piss you kids off growing up? I'm sure I didn't. You know. I was the best dad there ever was. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh. Well, Joe's going up for that master's, and he's an inspector at a college and go around inspecting laboratories and stuff. And he just can't help but call and ask my advice, you know. I've got a 3rd grade education, but yet I'm having to tell him how to inspect labs and stuff. So, you know. Crying rooms. Ain't that the shits? Did you read that article? Crying rooms. That blew me away. I watched the interview. I'll tell you now, I don't know if I've told you this one or not. There's a woman from Australia that says that parents need to ask the permission of the baby before you change its diaper. Yeah. Now they said, of course, there's not going to be an answer, but you need to watch for eye contact and body language. And you will start raising that child in a house of what was it, son? You seen the interview of, I can't think of it now. Uh-huh. Oh, it was crazy. I cracked up. And the woman was saying it with a straight face. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. No. Oh. Well, I was joking about the 3rd grade education. I got a 6th grade education. I went through it twice. So, you know. I have 2 years of 6th grade. Right? See, now that's the problem my boy has there. Now, you can imagine his thoughts. And like he said, we are a lot alike. Whether he likes it or not, just like I found out later in life that I'm a lot like my dad. So, but the thing is he's working at a college, and there's a lot of liberal bleeding heart BS in there, and he's done it, and he's going to school there and working there. So, he has hurt a few feelings. There has been some melting going on. So, and I keep trying to tell him, son, don't be like your daddy. Shut up once in a while. So, right? Oh, he's pretty good at calling BS BS. I'm here to tell you. Oh. Joe, I showed them that thingy you made for the shirt. They liked it. They thought it was cool. Now we'll see how many shirts we sell, but they said they liked it. Oh. I heard something about that, the Bible ban in California. Did you read about Seattle? Little Joe just sent me an article about Seattle out there, where they're going to be taxing the big corporations like 17 cents an hour for each employee, up to, I don't know, $2,500 a year or something. And they're going to use this for the homeless and all this stuff. That ain't being received well. So, and Little Joe's supposed to be working on a paper. I guess he's taking a break, or else he's going through daddy withdrawals. One or the other. Oh. What's going on in Tucson, Arizona? Oh, you sissy, go to bed. About time for you to go to your crying box first, right? And yeah, I pick on him. Imagine that, but he picks back, so don't start feeling sorry for him. He's a big boy. He can handle it. You are exactly right. It is a society problem. And it's a lack of God problem. You know, the thing is, whether you believe in God or not is up to the individual. But you have to admit that when God was in the world, not literally down here when he walked around, but when he was in our daily lives and in our government and all this, and he was a presence, the world was a much better place. And since the hippies of the 70s took him out, or hippies of the 60s actually, took him out, man, we have just faltered and continue to falter. So, oh. So we've had one meltdown. But Jason, you'll be all right, man. After it's all over with, you'll be all right. You are exactly right. But in this day and age, your word don't mean nothing. You are what the credit report and what all the data says about you. Joe's had his own issues with that stuff. They don't care to shake hands and say howdy and let's make an agreement. And let's bring up all this nonsense, whether it's true or not. Let's bring this stuff up. And now you have to fight with them, you know, and argue, well, that ain't true. Well, prove it. No, damn it. How about I'm innocent until proven guilty? How about making that asshole prove that it's true? You know, and it ain't like that anymore. Anymore, it's you are guilty until you prove yourself innocent. So, it's crazy, especially if you're a middle-aged working man. Oh. What are you talking about, the cheesecake incident now? Sometimes I'm a little bit naive, I guess. Or I just don't hear about everything. Is that the one in Oklahoma where the old boy killed them folks? Son, if you're going tonight, buddy, good night. Love you. Talk at you in the morning sometime. If he ain't already gone. Oh. Alright, he ain't gone yet, but he is now. Go to bed. Get to your room. Go to bed. Boy, I told him, didn't I? Exactly. Yep. And they just keep pushing it. A Bible ban in California. Really? Boy, don't make me send Grandma Rose up there. She'll have them grandbabies all over you. That'll line him out. Huh. I assume that's supposed to be customer for wearing a Make America Great. See, and you're not even allowed to have your own thoughts. You know, it's a sheep mentality is what I call that. You're supposed to go along with the herd. Well, damn it, if the herd's wrong, the herd's wrong. And I never was a follower anyway. That ain't mine. And I taught my boys to be leaders, not followers. Right? Yeah, we had to say the pledge. Now, they took prayer out of the school. I was probably in around 3rd grade or 4th grade when they took all that out. But we still said the pledge. Yeah, but Paul, you're old. I mean, you know, that's all there is to it. You're old. Oh. We know rocks that call you sir. You're not as young as I am. Not a problem, man. Anything to help. Oh, goodness. Wow, what? Wow, hour and 30 minutes. Well, sometimes you need a reality check. Have you turned your trainer onto my channel? Is he on there live streaming with us? Or did you scare him off? Yeah, mine does too. And I have to remind her that she is 4 years older than me. Ah. So now you two are running more like a team? Are you still being trained? Did you watch my video from last night about Austin? Well, I didn't tell him in the video it was Austin, but it was Austin. He's been having issues from not being trained or properly trained. Good. He should have you doing everything. The whole time you two are together, you should be doing everything. And he should be looking over your shoulder to tell you if you're doing it wrong. Who knows if they'll catch it at the office until 3 months later. Oh. Right? Good. Good. Have you had any good hardbacks yet? Sometimes you can't find a nice spot. You got to just find a spot. Oh, that's at your yard. That don't count. Well, no, wait a minute. That could be at truck stops, too. Some of them, their parking blows me away. There was a while back, last year or something, I did a video of a guy all jacked up. And there was a couple of screwballs that got on there with their comments. Man, it's a dirt lot. Why are you blasting him on social media and it's a dirt lot? It don't matter if it's a dirt lot. There's other people that's going to need to park. Park right. Period. You know? And how did you make a spot? Elaborate. Oh, I doubt it, Paul. I hardly even run my CB anymore, but I doubt it. Ah. Oh, well, I'm fixing to either have to get off here or take a minute break and hide from you. Well, y'all chat amongst yourselves for a minute. And I shall be back, you lucky rascals. And no, I ain't telling you where I'm going. Oh. Damn, I don't see no chatting going on. Oh, they was all right. One was a little bit low. I aired it up. You're talking about selling stuff. I was out in Reno, Nevada. Oh, hell, it was probably still back in the 90s, I guess. And oh boy, out there sold the doors off of a Kenworth. They had just came out with the low profile doors, you know how they swoop down? Well, they ain't always been like that. And he sold the doors off of his Kenworth. And I thought they was joking, but after a little while you see them swapping out doors. I was like, that is crazy. And I've seen a lot of stuff, but that one there, oh boy. Back there in some of my storytelling, there's a couple places where I tell you some stuff I used to sell. Now I learned quick, fast, and in a hurry that, and Grant can probably vouch for it. You got out there in Nevada, come Sunday afternoon, Monday morning, I didn't spend my money in them casinos. I kept my money, and you could get some deals. Oh my goodness. You could buy stuff cheap, because these fools done spent all their money and left it in. What happens in Nevada stays in Nevada, including your money. I'd load up my truck, and yes, I took advantage of them. I'd beat them down on their prices. And then when I started getting back over towards the east side of the country, I was selling stuff and making a damn good profit. Hell, a lot more than I would have made giving my money away in Nevada. Oh. Yep. No, not out there. They didn't spend it on chrome. They spent it in them casinos. Well, my time was before PlayStations. Now, I've got a couple forklift stories, but not about a guy getting one stuck in. Down there in New Orleans, there was an old boy that guy pulled out. He was told to pull out when there was a forklift in the back. I had an old boy that ran the headache rack of his forklift through my trailer. And I guarantee you on them old reefer trailers, if it was raining and the inside of that reefer trailer was wet, I've seen more than one forklift that would just sit there and spin on that metal floor. Oh. Oh. Grant, when you going back to work? Oh yeah, they're racing down this road. I thought that was Oklahoma City. Evidently Dallas has got street racers too. Yeah, I know, every city does. But when you're one of them little bumblebees and a pickup's taking you, you ain't impressing nobody. Imagine that. Huh. I don't remember that one, Grant. He must have watched Smokey and the Bandit. You going back in Friday? Cool. Mama's ready to run you off? You done drove her crazy? What time of night is it? 9 o'clock Central Time. How far are you from Irving and 35, Grant? I'll bet. Quick. Call Unsolved Mysteries. Oh, Lordy. No, I ain't going to ask you to come over here if you're an hour away. I need to see where I am loading in the morning, matter of fact. Good deal. Inwood Road, Dallas, Texas. Wonder how far that. I'm going to end up in Fort Worth. So I'm going to have to go pick up in Dallas. Ain't that cute? Let's see. 75244. That sounds awful familiar. I find out a lot of times that I have actually been to one of these places. More often than not, I'll go pulling up. Farmer's Branch, okay. I've got the feeling I have been there. That's sounding extraordinarily close. Or familiar, I'm sorry. It's gonna be 46 miles from my delivery. That ain't bad. Good night, Paul. God bless, brother. He's on y'all again. I want you to hit that like button. And then back to the yard. I pick this one up and take it to the yard. He can't keep them straight. That boy's as crooked as the damn roads we've seen them paving. Thank you, Ann. Howdy, howdy. Any of y'all ain't made it over to the Patreon page, please do. Go over there and sign up. Oh, goodness. Somebody asked me if I remember the coffin cabs. Yes, I do. That was on one of the videos. Go figure, right? The coffin cab overs. Now, how many of y'all remember those? All right, Stone, be safe, little brother. Keep me updated. As we like to say, keep it between the ditches, the rubber side down. And preferably the immediate 2 ditches, not this ditch and the one way over yonder. Oh hell, he eats it up. Stone's a big boy. He can handle it. I hope. I hope he ain't one of them sneak attacker type guys. But we are both Texans, so you know. No, I don't know what Celadon crap you're talking about. I really don't watch YouTube and don't do a whole lot of Facebook anymore. I go through and check out a little bit of what's on my feed line. But Celadon, what a deal. I talked to them years ago. That won't surprise me. Doesn't seem too much of that in trucking. Right? Well, if they're really being investigated, there'll be a gag order put on people. And I don't think you really want to get caught busting a gag order. So, well, folks, we're going on 2 hours. I am going to call Grandma because I know she's thinking about bed by now. And I got to fix me some dinner. I ain't ate dinner yet. So, with that, I want to wish each and every one of you a pleasant evening. Thank you for coming and joining on. All I can tell you is, remember, he loves you. So do I. Y'all have a blessed evening now. God bless. Good night. Yep, Bob, you take it easy, bro. And everybody else. Grant, get your butt to work. Don't make my girlfriend mad.